Drivin Ivan here, and every time I'm down in Florida, I like to do videos here at Ferrari of Naples. Why? Because they got some pretty cool cars here, don't they? So I'm going to walk you around and show you these cars, but I wanted to talk about design. Now, Ferrari is so famous for Pininfarina. Pinin and Farina. Yes, started off as two separate names there, but Pininfarina is a famous styling house in Italy, of course, and they've designed all the major Ferraris. So here we have what is, to me, a Ferrari 308 on steroids, the second supercar from Ferrari. First one was the Berlinetta Boxer, usually red on top and black on the bottom, but you had like gray and black and yellow and black and all yellow. They made them all sorts of colors, but usually red. And that's what a supercar Ferrari should be, right? Resale red. Anyway, the design of this car is just beautiful. Like I said, 308 on steroids, and I think 308 is one of the best looking cars. If you're my age, you grew up watching Magnum PI, who drove a Ferrari 308 GTS. That's the Targa version. And you'll never see in Magnum PI, you'll never see him with the top on. Why? Well, because it's Hawaii, number one. Number two, because he was too tall to drive the car. His head would hit the top. So he needed to have the Targa because he wouldn't fit in the Berlinetta, the GTB, Gran Turismo Boxer Berlinetta. But this is the 288. This is a supercar from Ferrari. It was one of the quickest cars back then. Beautiful black interior in this case with the Daytona seats. Those came from the Ferrari Daytona, and the beautiful H-gate shifter here. That beautiful, no airbag or anything in these steering wheels, and just a more simple time with these cars. So I'm going to talk about design today. That's what I'm going to talk about. So here we have a new Ferrari, and it's still, if you ask me, this is super, super stylish. You had actually back in the day the mid-engine cars, and these were popular from the mid-'60s, and they're still popular today. But, the engine's right here. Ferrari always has waited until they prove the technology, and Enzo wanted to wait until, mid-engine cars started winning races. So all you see at that point was mid-engine cars because they win races, and that's all Ferrari wanted to do. You guys all know the famous story of Enzo Ferrari and beating Ford because they wanted to buy his race team and he wouldn't have it. So that's it. This is a 488, and again, mid-engine, just like the 308, just like the 355, just like the 488, and on and on and on, and that's how it is. So many will argue, the Corvette is even mid-engine now, but I will make the argument that for style and for the true Ferrari history, cars like this are what you want. This is kind of an interpretation of the GTO. The TDF, Tour de France, F12. And again, you can see any Ferrari, you can know the model if you just look on the glove box. There you go, F12 TDF. This is a $1.8 million car with the red Alcantara in there. And to me, that's a lot of money. 1.4 million. But anyway, I think to a lot of you, it's a lot of money. But this is the most it can be, this model. There was a GTO also. They had one of these GTOs last time I was here, so you can search some old videos. But my point with this car right here, and this car right here, and even less so the Ferrari California right here. See it? There's a 488. No, I'm sorry, that's that's actually a Dino, the 6-cylinder mid-engine also, but blue too. Very, very cool. So that's the new, Enzo's son, Dino. He came up with a V6 engine design, and passed away, but he's always remembered with these cars. So that's a spiritual successor to the Dino right there, the 296 GTB. And but my point with these is front engine, rear wheel drive. That's the classic Ferrari layout. Like the Ferrari GTO, like many of the 50s Ferraris that you see, 1940s the 166, first Ferrari. There's just a great history of front-engined V12, even if it's a small displacement engine. I mean, they had some really small front-engine Ferraris back then with the 12-cylinder engine. Nothing like today. You know, you have a, if you're going to have a 12-cylinder engine, it's going to be a minimum of 5 liters, probably 6 liters. But you know, Ferrari's always been different. They've always gotten more power out of smaller displacement. Plus, in Europe, where gas is 4 times as expensive as it is here, trust me, I was just over there. You can watch my tour of the Ferrari museum over there, and Lamborghini, and all of the great sports cars, Mercedes and Pagani. Check out my channel elsewhere for that. But this is about design, like I said, and to me, you're never going to talk me out of it. This is the traditional Ferrari, front engine V12. Basically 2 seats, although some of them can have seats in the back. I'll show you some of those. The FF and the new GTC4 Lusso. I love those too because they're 4-seat Ferraris. I love it. I love the Ferrari 400, also a front engine 12-cylinder car. That was the first Ferrari I drove, so it always had a special place. You can search Ferrari 400 to see what it's like. But yes, even the Monza here, I mean the Roma. Sometimes I say funny things when I'm just trying to say the name of a car. Anyway, it's the Roma. I have a full driving review of it. It's an amazing car. It was really made so that Ferrari could have really more of a daily driver image. This is a car that you can get in, drive, use as your daily driver, not worry too much about it. Reliable, almost understated when it comes to a Ferrari. Look at the price, $250,000 for last year's model with only 1,702 miles. So it's pretty much as new. But look at this grille. I really thought when I saw this car, and you can see me talking about the styling in that video, I thought it was an Aston Martin. I mean, just from the distance. I didn't really, because I knew what it was, but it kind of looks understated, like an Aston Martin would. And I think, Ferrari went with that because, again, they have some pretty outrageous looking cars. And, some people want to be a little under the radar. Some people want to, they want that Aston Martin type of car. I'll show you an Aston Martin on the other side here that will make you drool. But it's brand new, actually. And it's with a theme that I'll show you. There's a green theme going on the other side, but I did want to talk about styling. So even the Roma here with the 8-cylinder engine, Ferrari's famous for the 8-cylinder engine, so not everything needs a V12, and they needed to keep the price down a bit, so there you go. And even the price and maintenance, I mean, 4 less spark plugs means less maintenance overall. This is the Ferrari California, the first of the new hardtop convertibles. Portofino followed this one, but look at that. $140,000. Someday this will be a value. When they get to the bottom of their depreciation, they will be definitely a buy. Look at this beautiful. Okay, I've said all sorts of things about, I like the front-engined Ferraris better, and I do overall. I want a 550 Maranello blue with crema. If anybody's watching, please, smash that like button, subscribe too. I certainly don't do this YouTube stuff for the money. I do it because I love cars, and I spend a lot more money making these videos than I make, but it's okay because I would do it anyway because I love the cars. And this one is just I don't know. I like it. I've never seen one in this color of blue. All my cars are blue if I can choose them, so I am kind of in love with this one. And it says it's a 296 GTB, and I don't know, because I didn't know these had an electrical connection, so it's crazy, actually. There you go, like the SF90. But anyway, this is a really darn nice car. But again, I still like, there's the F8, the new one. I still like the the front-engined V12 Ferraris, or even the V8s. Let's continue our design study as we look out the window and see another Roma, maybe a 612 or something. But there's the 550. Like, that is, blue with crema, and this one has the Daytona seats too. That is a beauty. And here we have what's that, 360 or something. Always cool cars out here as well when you just look around. I'll show you on the other side. There's a lot more cars over there. This is, I believe, the what I just mentioned, the SF90 Spider. So isn't that wild, seeing that on a Ferrari? But again, mid-engined. And I'm just gonna say it, although handling and everything might be more traditionally better, and enthusiasts will argue for the mid-engine cars all day and all night, style-wise, I'm going with, again, these. I just think they're more pleasing to the eye. You can let me know in the comments what you think. It's okay. You can disagree. That's what makes the world go round. But, look at these. Watch my video of Pebble Beach, the Ferrari display at Pebble Beach. Search that and you'll see there were 26 of these. The only difference between the SP1 and the SP2 basically is the number of seats. That's a single seater. That's a double, two-seater. Anyway, 812 super fast, again, front engine V12. And super fast Ferraris are, wow, there's a 410 America, I believe, with fins and everything from the late 50s. Man, is that a beauty. See how you can tell? California. Very comfortable, very daily driverable Ferrari. There's the Scuderia Ferrari badge, of course taken from a family friend who passed away in World War I. And he thought it would bring him good luck to have that badge, so it's been on every Ferrari since 1948. Incidentally, Enzo actually quit working at Alfa Romeo about 10 years before that, I believe it was, or maybe 5 years. But he had a kind of no-compete clause, and he couldn't start building cars, and that's why the first Ferrari came about in 1948, the 166. I have a tour of the Ferrari Museum from back in the day, in the 90s, and I think it's out there somewhere. So if you search Drivin Ivan, and that you'll find it. Now there's that GTO again mid-engine, but another classic. If you ask me, well, I'll just go ahead and reveal it. Of course, I have a 996 Porsche. Drivin Ivan has a lot of cars. Yes, I do. And you can search what does Drivin Ivan drive. Watch the music video. That's the more updated version. This is one I wouldn't mind owning. I do have a 996. Mine's a Carrera 4 Cabriolet. So it's like this one in that it's all-wheel drive and convertible in a 996, but this one is a turbo. You can tell right here from the intake there. So cool. Now, everybody's going to say, oh my God, it's a Tiptronic. If you want to know what I think of the Tiptronic 996, well, I have a review of one. I did a whole buyer's guide basically when I bought mine. So I tell you everything you need to know about these. This is a 996.2. How do I know? It has a glove box and cup holders. So it's a little nicer than the earlier 2000, 2001s. I think in 2001, they started in the late 90s, and by 2001, they switched to the .2, 996.2. This is a great car. Absolutely. Now, automotive styling. Again, you got to give Porsche props here, because ever since the first Porsche 356 in the late 40s, early 50s, search a very, very desirable one. If you search for 1953 Porsche 356, you'll see a story I have. One of my friends owns a very desirable Porsche 356 that Porsche actually wants to buy from him. And then another one to search is my 356 review, or any of my 911 reviews. I've reviewed my own, my 82 Targa as well, and friend's 1971 Cristal Blue 911E, the 912, which is a 4-cylinder 911. I've reviewed that one. And a Tiptronic, and another 996, I think a few 996s altogether. Also a 997, two different ones of those. So do watch my Porsche 911 videos. I think, all in all, for reliability, the Porsche 911 is probably the best overall sports car. For, I mean, the Miata is a great car too, but again, I'm talking about maybe a premium sports car. So don't get me wrong, I like all cars. I like American cars, I like foreign cars, but that's just a great one. Now, again, I don't think the new cars have the style of the old cars. If you look at an old 60s Ferrari, 250 GT short wheelbase, the one that predeceased the like a 1961 basically, which is right before the GTS. This is one of the most beautiful cars you'll ever see. Or the 275, 250 GTB Lusso luxury. Those are some of the most beautiful cars ever made. The 750 Monza, beautiful little car. So cars, they have to be bigger now. They have to have safety built in. This is still, in terms of a car today, especially if you like the color green, wow, look at this beauty. It's beautiful. The crazy orange accents. I mean, this is great. 812 GTS. I personally, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like the feel of Alcantara. I'm probably the only one in the world that doesn't like Alcantara, but I just don't. I don't like velvet, and I don't like Alcantara. So for me, please give me some normal Daytona seats in this. But these are the racier things, and it's so cool. All green with that orange accent. I mean, it is a good-looking car. So, again, a couple other examples. Here's the green Aston Martin I was telling you about. Look at this thing. I think it's pretty much brand new, very low miles, and it's V12 Vantage. It's got everything. It's got everything going on. This thing has everything going on. It really does. Nice subtle gray interior. Aston Martin. You want to know how much, don't you? Of course you want to know how much. Some of you might be interested in buying it. Let me know. Send me a commission check, please. $499,991. Very nice. There you go. Now look at these two beauties right here. Two back-to-back Porsche 911s. Blue and black. You guys know which one I'd choose. As is, 147,000, 2023 Porsche 911. Brand new. Brand new. 992. Or, and this is just Carrera, so it's the two-wheel drive. This one, of course, being blue and being a Turbo S. What does that S mean in Porsche lore? Well, of course, it's sport, and of course, it's a bit more. Any little extra speed or any extra thing, you pay for it, Porsche. Trust me. But, new car smell, too. And still basically, like my 996, like my 82 Targa, you still have the key on the left-hand side. It's just it's a Porsche thing. It's for the Grand Prix start, when you used to have the race car drivers over here. They had to run and start the car. So Porsche thought it would be quicker to start the car with your left hand while you get in. And that's why it has the key on the left-hand side. Did you know where the key is on the Saab? Key on the Saab's down there. So a lot of interesting takes on where to put a key in a car, but Porsche 911, I think, has the best story on that. It's all about performance. It's all about speed. This Mercedes is looking good. 6.3 gull-wing doors, SLS AMG, I'm guessing, if my memory serves me correctly. SLS AMG, yes sir. And you want a silver Porsche, a silver Maserati, a silver Mercedes. You want a blue Maserati, I think. And you want a silver looks good in Porsche too, but I think you want a blue one. I don't know. Silver Porsches, if it's an old 356 racing car, 550, something like that. But silver and red, white and red is Corvette. Silver and red is Mercedes for sure. I toured the Mercedes Museum, and they have their speed transporter with the original very fast SL from back then, SLR. That's worth watching the video just for that car. There's some amazing Mercedes cars in the museum. Look at that. They got back-to-back two SLS AMG Mercedes. Wow. Just gorgeous. And green, too. There's one more green I'm about to show. Oh, this one's sold. There you go. $339,991. 2012. So there you go. $340,000. Let's see. More expensive or the same price? What about this one? And when you talk about style, this is really my whole point. What am I trying to get to? Well, my whole point is actually this. I love it when manufacturers do the retro styling. And to me, when Ferrari does retro styling like that, it just really, it's beautiful. And when Mercedes does it with the gull wings, It's beautiful. Because cars these days, I mean, look, these are all very cool Ferraris. They're very fast. They're beautiful cars. But, you know, if I walk over here we go. If I walk over here to this McLaren, I mean, really, if someone doesn't know what they're doing, they're going to think it's just like this one here. They're not going to know a difference because the wind dictates the shape almost nowadays. The wind, the louvers, the way they need to cool the engine, cool the brakes, they're so similar. I'm not saying they're not special cars, they are. But that being said, in terms of design, come on, look at this one. The classic first gen M3. Come on. With the flares right here. I think 1991 was the last year, so that takes you back. Look at the windshield wipers up there. They can't make cars like this anymore. And that's why these older cars like this one, 1993 series, this is a year before the last. How many miles? Curious. 61,000 miles. Look at that. Put racing seats in it. Beautiful M-Tech. I think that's M-Tech on the, the cushions and things like that. Beautiful. This is the official car of Florida, though. If you ever driven around Florida, especially where I am, the Corvette is the official car of Florida. There's no question. There's a lot of Corvettes here. So if you want to stand out, you want a McLaren. You want a Ferrari. You want a McLaren. You want something. So there you go. Look at this one. GT4 RS is an amazing Porsche, but to me, I'd rather have the 911. I mean, that's my thought on it. But these are very, very nice cars. This one's a manual, carbon fiber trim, and yeah, 279.5. It is a 2024 Porsche Cayman GT4 RS. So this is the bee's knees in terms of Cayman Porsche right now, if you want one. What else we got back here? I'm going to show you that other green Mercedes because it's so outrageous. Okay, I'll go do that right now because you just can't miss that. So automotive design. This one even, although I like the 911 a lot better, at least this one, this is carrying you back to maybe the RSK race car or something like that from Porsche's history. If you want to see some great history of cars, Auto World, Brussels, Belgium, watch my video from there. Auto World in Brussels, Belgium. Look at this beauty. I mean, come on. What's more beautiful? I know some of the younger people watching this video are going to say, this is more beautiful. But I'm just telling you, this is an elegant, elegant car. These beautiful hubcaps. I have a 1974 Mercedes SL, and I've had a 1975 and an 83. I have videos on them all. Watch the 75. That's a good history video on the SL. Put the whole history in there. Look at this thing. I mean, some people my age, you can remember relatives maybe driving these. And Mercedes is just famous. I don't know why people change the steering wheels. It does look cool, but this big padded Mercedes steering wheel, I mean, that was all the safety you could have back then. A soft dash, that was safety. People had hard metal dashes, and then when they got hurt, they'd be in a car crash back then, and it wouldn't tickle. It was a serious, serious thing. And trying to figure out what year it is. 1971. Years before, even artists like Andy Warhol, he would make pop art out of anything, and he took a series of car crashes in the 50s and made pop art out of them. But anyway, that's another story altogether. Cars and art and music, I think they're all combined, and that's why I put cars and art and music together. Watch me playing all the instruments on my original song Free Your Mind with some of my car collection in it. That's on my Drivin channel. And watch me playing Hotel California, all the instruments, and many other original songs I have. I'm into the art, I'm into the music. You'll see I like pop art if you watch some of those videos. But this to me is just automotive design at its best. This is a beautiful car. It's stunning. And so is the SLS AMG, but it's a different sort of beautiful. There's a different sort of elegance. You'll still see, old people around Florida driving Mercedes SLs around, the old ones, 60s, the Pagoda, and things like that. They're just elegant cars. And this one's kind of new elegant, I would say. This is a modern elegance. Daytona seats in this one as well. California. T. Is it California T? Yeah, it is. California T. Ferrari Roma, like I said, full driving review of that one, so do watch it. 911 here, beautiful. Carrera S. This I want to talk about. Automotive design. Okay? This is a Rolls Royce. When you drive this car, you will always see RR because it's on some sort of mechanical gyro thing, and it will never turn. The RR will always stay, so everybody knows it's an RR. Rolls Royce, they call them rollers. Don't need a roller or a limousine. Don't need my picture in a magazine. Don't need reminding from the chosen few. But I'll tell you what I do need. I Need You. Great love song from the 80s. I Need You by Paul Carrack. He was a member of Squeeze at one point. But a roller, that's what they call them in England where they're from. Now the badge disappears, and you can get them in any color you like. You can custom order them. Suicide doors are back in. I have a full driving review of the Rolls-Royce Wraith, and I also have a Citroen CX wagon that happens to be pink. And the ride in that is a magic carpet because of the hydrodynamic suspension. And Rolls-Royce has the same thing going on here. I'm telling you, you could drive any other car in here. Any car in here. I've driven a lot of very cool cars, and I have a lot of cars. You could drive any car, and nothing will feel like a Rolls-Royce. It feels like absolute pure butter. And the new ones on the headliner up there shows a view of the galaxy and the sky. It's amazing. This one, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but this is like an orange. It's almost like a crazy bright pastel orange. It's beautiful with the black and the matching calipers. It's gorgeous. I mean, I would prefer blue, of course, with a light interior, but my God, this thing is gorgeous. And the attention to detail of these cars. I mean, they still look like they used to back in the day, and it's just gorgeous. Yeah, watch my review of the Rolls-Royce Wraith, and it's a special car. Bentley Mulsanne Speed and Bentley Bentayga too. Okay, more design studies here. Again, this one right here, this is a 575 Maranello, or at least the wheels are made to look at. You couldn't get the 575 in a manual with the H-gate, so that's a shame. But this one here, in blue, to me, is a very, very stunning car. I love the look of that one, and it just any blue Ferrari just makes me kind of just drool, I have to say. But that one is particularly beautiful, I think, just like the 296 up here. But let's see what we got here that's interesting Ferraris that might stand out. They all stand out. They're all cool. But again, blue over there. This one right here, GTC4 Lusso. That's the new 4-seat Ferrari, I believe. I don't think it's an FF. You know, I'm not 1,000% sure, but I love it. And then here's another one right there. That's an FF, I believe. So again, the first 4-seat Ferrari, and in the modern era, that is. First all-wheel drive Ferrari, but first modern 4-seat Ferrari is the FF, and then you had the GTC4 Lusso. But I love them. Like I said, I love the Ferrari 400, the 330. I believe they had a 4-seat version of that, and that was nice. John Lennon had one of those. So there you go. This is the stuff that's outside and looking very, very, very nice as well. Look at that one. Ugh, hard to see. Try to get in there on that one. But anyway, that's like a speedster version of the 550. That's a pretty rare car. Love that one. I would love to have that one. That's probably my favorite of all time Ferrari. But back in here, let's do the last row real quick. Again, if you don't know exotic cars, you're going to think this and this. You know, you don't know too much difference than these right here, the McLarens or any of the mid-engine new exotic cars, even the Lamborghinis and things like that. I hate to say it. I know you guys are going to be like, oh, I can tell them apart. Yeah, I know, but you know cars, and I know cars. Most people can't really tell them apart because they have to look a certain way nowadays with all of the aerodynamics underneath. Look at that. Wow. Even the Scion FRS has a bit of that going on now. Yes, I reviewed the Scion FRS, the BRS. I I reviewed it on the track when it first came out. They sent me to Red Rocks Raceway. Watch my review of the Lexus RCF and the RC V6. I do a split lap time on both of those. Show you which one's faster and by how much on the lap. It's pretty cool. I drive the Nürburgring in one of the 3 cars I bought in Italy, so watch that video too. Don't worry, we're going downstairs. I'm going to show you some more stuff, but just telling you a couple things you can watch in the meantime. This one's nice. There you go. 812 GTS in resale red. Uh-oh, see? You just can't tell them all apart. Here's a Lamborghini. There's a Ferrari. You and I can tell them apart, but not a lot of people. That's why I like the front engine 12-cylinder cars, and I especially like the old cars. They're timeless classics. Like this Mercedes here. Yes, sir. And like the 288 GTO. 996 911. Timeless classics. This one I think is a new classic, though, I must say. Even this Aston Martin here, this is Aston Martin on steroids. I mean, this is amazing. But anyway, so there you go. I'm going to take you downstairs now, finish things up down there. And bam, downstairs now. Look at that. 2 Dinos back to back, both GTSs. The Targa, basically. And wow, what a stunner. Beautiful cars here. Some of them getting fixed. Look at the setup they have here. Very good. Nice lounge area right there. Anyway.
Go upstairs?
Oh, yes, of course. And continuing on with design, here is another mid-engine. This one, they're just pulling that car out, actually. They just sold it. And they're doing the unveil for the people. It's so cool to see that. They're just getting their new Ferrari delivered. Look at that. 488 Spider, I think is what that is. Beautiful car though. F8. But anyway, this is what's downstairs. I just wanted to show you. I always have this racing one here, so again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if you're still watching this at this time, because I'll post this video soon. But this to me, well, again, this is a Testarossa, and it's all one word. If you look at I do have a video of the Testarossa, 2 words, at the Simeone Museum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But this one, the earlier one, the Testarossa one that just came out, it was a good-looking car to some people, and some of it was terrible. These cheese grater sides here were so controversial. You had that beautiful arrow on the 288 GTO that you just saw on the 308s, and even the 246 Dino I just showed you in the service area. Those had that arrow right there, and then they came out with this new side grate for cooling, and people were just like, what? A lot of purists were jumping off bridges. I mean, they couldn't understand it. But to me, this is the later car. It's a 512 TR. So these were, in 1984 is when the Testarossa came out. And this one came out a little later. This was like the first redesign. It looks great. I mean, if you ask me, this is a beautiful car. H-gate shifter, over 180 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in the high 4s, somewhere around there, 4-second range, and just beautiful. This one is one of 2 in the world with blue Sarah, basically, evening blue, and maybe midnight blue or evening blue with the red interior, but not really red, just kind of a maroon red. So cool, blood red, basically. Very rare, very cool. So I think that's, again, you're talking about the 90s. It's a different era, but I think it's just beautiful back then. And then you have the newer ones, which are, again, just because of automotive design and safety, cars are starting to look more and more like each other now. So it's very difficult to get a personality. I wish, actually, Ferrari and all of the other manufacturers, if you're listening, I wish they would do more retro styling, as they kind of did with this one. Because this looks like the old classic front-engine V12 Ferraris. And so I think this is a big hit. 812 GTS, and some other cars out here like what's that, GTC4 Lusso, 4-seater, like I was saying. In there, that's a nice. I actually reviewed that. I do a really funny Matthew McConaughey impression on the Lincoln Navigator. You want to watch that car review too. I do a whole Matthew McConaughey commercial while showing that car. So anyway, there you go. It's December. It's Ferrari of Naples. It's the holidays almost, and it is really. So happy New Year, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and thanks for watching all year. Do watch between Christmas Eve and New Year's. I'm going to do a video every day of rare stuff. Cars not available in America. Interesting, weird cars. I like interesting, weird cars, like my pink Citroen CX wagon or anything else. But there it is. Another beautiful Rolls Royce, like I told you, with the suicide doors here. And the headliner that lights up. Very, very buttery smooth ride. And again, classic styling. Mercedes G-Class Galinda wagon out there, also very classic design. And then you have a little miniature, like I said, the Testarossa, the original Testarossa. This is it. This is the pontoon fender Testarossa. These are usually about $75,000 for the little electric version that you can drive around. I'm not sure how much they're asking. Nardi, Torino, but last one I saw was about $75,000. Very cool. Pontoon fender, 1958, 1957, 58, Testarossa. 2 words, Testarossa, for the redheads on the engine. Beautiful racing version of this. Even though it's a little miniature, 3/4 size electric. Who cares? It's still cool. So there you go. Here at Ferrari of Naples. Do watch my Ferrari museum tour in Maranello, Italy. Search Drivin Ivan in any car. And again, thank you so much for watching. I am Drivin Ivan with this design study of Ferrari.